you just hear plates breaking and glasses. You just hear all this commotion, like when a fight breaks out. You turn around, there's 50 Secret Service guys with guns out, and they're screaming, "Get on the f***ing ground now!"
Oh my
and I'm like, holy shit. Now the dais is full with guns, guys with guns like this.
Yo, look at the excitement with Dana White, man. Look at how excited he is. When was the last time you saw Dana White talk about a fight like this? Of course he has. Of course he's talked about several fights with similar excitement, but it's been a while. Dana White would go to post-fight press conferences and be like, sold out the arena tonight. You know, it was cool. Record-breaking. Ilya Topuria, bonus of the night. Performance of the night. Justin Gaethje. Paddy Pimblett, performance of the night. Yeah. What's the next question? Dana White is losing his mind and Joe Rogan is freaking out. Video by Too Lazy to Try. Too Lazy to Try is a cool YouTuber, man. He makes some pretty good videos. And I love it when a YouTuber is making a video that's more in the combat sports world. So I had to react to this.
All right, so the UFC White House Card is coming up, and Dana White has been doing a lot of press leading up to it. And every appearance he makes, you could tell the interviewer just wants to ask him about his relationship with Trump. But Dana always gives the same answer about how he's not political, and he refers to his speeches at the RNC as proof of that. He also has been talking a lot about the assassination attempt on Trump at the White House Correspondents' Dinner because he was there and he thought the whole experience was badass. I mean, it sounds like it's the most excited he's been in years, you know, because he's extremely rich, he's done it all, and now he's probably just bored and nothing excites him anymore.
I mean, that's a fact. Dana White was so excited at the whole assassination attempt at the White House. Bro, I cannot remember the last time Dana White was excited doing anything else. Dana White would announce the craziest fight card, and it's almost like he's being held at gunpoint.
Except for shit like that. Like, you'd think since the UFC is having an event on the White House lawn, he'd be a little more concerned about these assassination attempts and shootings outside the White House, and this being the most polarizing Trump's ever been. But he doesn't seem to care at all, and it's almost like he's even more excited about it now.
Got bored of running the UFC now. Only gambling and near-death experiences can excite him. That is facts right there.
Now. But Joe Rogan, on the other hand, he's freaking out. He does not want to be there. And even Trump now, Dana said, probably wishes he didn't agree to host the event.
You know, we're in. We've spent. I got a claw being built right now in Philly that was sent over here from Belgium, and you know, they're building it. They're wiring it. They're testing it. They're getting it ready, and then they're going to put it on trucks and ship it to DC.
Do you think he needs this right now? It seems like, I mean,
probably not. I bet he wishes.
I mean, I believe it. I believe it. There's no way the President Donald Trump, still thinks this is a good idea. He was excited for it. I think he was the first one to officially announce it. But with the way things are right now, the states were at war with freaking Iran, several assassination attempts. The temperature right now is absolutely crazy. And honestly speaking, bro, I don't want to put some negative energy, but hey, even Joe Rogan has said it. The UFC White House setting right now is a recipe for disaster. It really is. It's exciting. Probably going to be fun. Once in a lifetime type event, but it is exactly the scenario that could lead to a terrible disaster. Hopefully not.
He probably wishes he didn't say that to me in wherever we were, but again, we're in. I mean, it's happening.
Yeah, sure.
The everything's in motion. So I bet he probably wishes that this wasn't happening, but it's happening.
I would be scared to fight a country that is having a fist fight on the White House lawn. That's how badass and crazy we are. Like, we're fighting at the president's house, each other.
Yeah.
We're going to fuck you up.
I'm not.
Bro, that is the most brain dead thing I've ever heard. I'm going to be scared of the country fighting the U.S. lawn. We badass. You can tell this guy doesn't even watch fights. You can tell he doesn't know anything about fighting. You can tell he's never been in a fight. And again, I don't even know this guy like that. He was on Joe Rogan's podcast. But I think Joe Rogan about to set a reality check.
Thrilled about that.
You're going to be there?
Yeah, I'll be there, but I'm not thrilled about it.
See
It
this
doesn't
today?
seem like a wise idea.
Yeah.
Having this very high-profile event where everybody's in one place at one time right there.
I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're not excited to be
Well,
there?
that seems like
Yeah.
seems like you're asking for.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
I hadn't
Yeah.
thought of that at all.
How could you not think of that?
Well, because
Literally
I'm
at
not
the
going to
White
be
House.
there. You're the one that has to think of it.
So Rogan is really worried about the safety and security of the event.
Rightfully
and that
so.
was even before the White House Correspondents' Dinner shooting and the shooting outside the White House last week.
Fact.
And he was already hoping it would get canceled.
The fact that Joe has, like I said, Joe Rogan has always been worried about this. He never thought it was a good idea. And I think it stems from the fact that the United States is currently at war with Iran. That's the big issue with Joe. Joe Rogan has never been a fan of international relations. That's why you will never see him out of the country commentating on a UFC event. He doesn't do that. That's his golden rule. Everybody knows that. Pay-per-view, big cards, whatever. If it's outside the States, he's not doing it. So I feel like he's getting the same vibes with this. It's just a weird time to be involved in something like that.
Canceled. So now he's got to be really paranoid. But they're definitely going through with it. And Dana, he probably honestly just thinks of the threats as part of the excitement, especially the way he
100%.
talks about the Correspondents' Dinner shooting. I mean, he makes it sound like it was one of the greatest experiences of his life. Literally right after it happened, while he was still there, he said it was awesome. And this only happened 2 months before his event on the White House lawn. And there was also a shooting outside the White House last week. But instead of Dana being like, maybe we should postpone this event or cancel it, he
Nope.
probably thought this is the perfect time for it. You know, this is all just part of the spectacle and the excitement.
All of a sudden, man, you just hear plates breaking and glasses. You just hear all this commotion, like when a fight breaks out. You turn around, there's 50 Secret Service guys with guns out, and they're screaming, "Get on the f***ing ground now!" Oh my God. And I'm like, holy shit. Now the dais is full with guns, guys with guns like this.
Yo, look at the excitement with Dana White, man. Look at how excited he is. When was the last time you saw Dana White talk about a fight like this? Of course he has. Of course he's talked about several fights with similar excitement, but it's been a while. Dana White would go to post-fight press conferences and be like, sold out the arena tonight. No, it was cool. Record-breaking. Ilya Topuria, bonus of the night. Performance of the night. Justin Gaethje. Patty Pimblett, performance of the night. Yeah. What's the next question? Next question. But look at the way this guy is so excited at a near-death experience. The contrast in the way he reacts to that type of situation compared to setting up legit banger fights with the baddest man on the planet is just crazy.
With the lights on the end of them, pointed at us. Now think about the greatest movie you've ever seen like that.
You were in it.
Times a million.
You're so excited,
My
bro.
adrenaline was
So
through
excited.
the roof. For 4 hours after that, I flew back to Vegas. I was bouncing off the walls on the plane, and but to be able to be involved in something like that and nobody gets hurt, but you get to experience.
And after Dana's initial response to the assassination attempt, right after, Sean Strickland, who's now UFC champion and arguably one of the most popular fighters, who says some wild shit. This guy has no filter at all. Like, he will always speak what's on his mind. So he was like, man, Dana White is a narcissistic sociopath. He would love to see someone get killed. He's a sick fuck. And he's saying this about his boss. So this is a bold move. But also Sean says he kind of respects it.
And they were screaming, "Get down!" I didn't get down. It was fucking awesome. I literally took every minute of it in, and it was a pretty crazy, unique experience.
To be honest, like at that level of like what he's accomplished, the kind of shit he deals with, like I'm sure like he's a super narcissistic sociopath. You know, the lizard brain doesn't kind of compute. So he's like, fuck it, bring it on, dude. Let's
Imagine Sean Strickland calling you a narcissistic sociopath. That is ridiculous because Sean Strickland is a psychopath as well. Maybe fake, might be a front in his attitude and his personality might be a front, but the fact that Sean Strickland is having this description for someone else shows how bad the situation is, right? And the way Dana White is trying to convince everyone on how exciting it was, how great, how awesome, such a wonderful experience. You think this guy went to the moon or something that a lot of people maybe want to do something exciting, something fun. Bro, this man was in an active shooter scene.
Yeah, no, I think Dana White would love to watch a motherfucker get killed, dude. Yeah, no, he's a sick dude. 100%. I mean, come on, did we not think that about Dana White? Like, the guy's probably a sociopath, or even, I wouldn't assume he's probably a psychopath.
He is your boss.
Yeah, I wish that's why I'm not making, so I should be making more money, dude. I gotta deal with these fuckers.
So that's the only shit that can excite Dana anymore in gambling. Even though he's worth $500 million, and you'd say he pretty much already hit the lottery, it's still not enough, and he's a degenerate gambler. And there are rumors that he's $25 to $50 million in debt with Red Rocks Casino.
Insane.
But I've watched you play poker on television and other games of chance, and the bets on the table are in the hundreds of thousands of dollars, and sometimes on a single bet over $1 million if they'll take the bet.
Right.
Are you out of your mind?
Yes.
No, but you know that in the end the house wins, right?
Yeah. And
I actually like how honest Dana White is. He's like, the guy's like, yeah, are you out of your mind? Are you out of your mind? And he's like, yeah. And it's so funny how Dana White is a gambling addict. Everybody knows this. He's a degenerate gambler, including himself. He's proud of it. And that makes sense in how he hangs out with people like Nelk Boys or Aiden Ross, because that's the type of shit they do. Those guys, they pretty much sell gambling to their subscribers and things like that. So of course, that's the type of crowd that he loves being around, right? Now, I don't want to sit here and act like Dana White doesn't help fighters out behind the scenes. I've heard a lot of talks that happened. But man, the things that Dana White has done for people like the Nelk Boys, dropping loads of cash on their lap, things like that, it just makes no sense. But when you consider the fact that one thing he has in common with these guys is the fact that they're gambling addicts, it makes more sense.
And in the end, you only live once.
So he's out of control, and he needs to keep taking things further and further, like with doing the UFC card on the White House lawn while we're in the middle of a war and there are assassination attempts every other week. Like, I'm sure a lot of people involved with the event aren't too thrilled about it. I mean, Rogan complains about it all the time now because of the safety concerns, and the conditions for the fighters are going to be terrible since it's outside in the summer. You know, it's going to be really hot and buggy, and like Dana even admits there's going to be a problem with the lights attracting a ton of bugs, and it's a high-stress environment. So the fighters are going to be dealing with a lot, and Rogan doesn't sugarcoat it. He thinks the event is a terrible idea. He criticizes it all the time now. And he thinks they should have just built a temporary structure on the White House lawn and done it inside, but then that defeats the purpose of doing it there. Obviously, Dana just wants a shot of the White House in the background. That's the main reason for it, and it doesn't matter if the conditions screw up fighters. He doesn't care. He just wants that shot.
How are you feeling about this White House card? That's insane.
Makes me a little nervous. I don't know if it's the best idea.
Joe Rogan is so stressed about this UFC White House card. Like, first it started with, okay, yeah, he mentioned it in one podcast, you know, he just said it out of nowhere. But like I said, I literally lost count. He always talks about it. Anybody who's talking about the UFC White House card on his podcast, he talks about how it's not a good idea. He doesn't even talk about the fights itself, but he talks about how worried he is. And, you know, the fact that he's just speaking his mind about it shows how really worried he is. He's more worried than he's putting on, because he's part of this event, right? And he knows, you know, he's got to promote it in some way. He works with Dana White. Dana White is his friend. He's not trying to ruin business, but he's so worried that he can't even handle not talking about it in this way.
Yeah, it seems like it would open some room for some tomfoolery.
It seems like it. Yeah. The card is not what they wanted it to be, for sure. They wanted it to be like all world titles. The White House card.
Ooh.
Yeah. Like,
you going?
Yeah. Unless things get crazy.
You going? Yeah. That sounds like someone who's forced to go, not someone who's willing to go.
Between now and then. But the idea of them fighting outside in Washington, D.C. in the middle of the summer. Nice humidity and heat. Crazy to me. You ask someone to dehydrate themselves, to cut weight, and there's going to be bugs. Imagine getting lit up by mosquitoes while you're mounting a guy and you hear him and you hear him. It's a terrible idea. I hate it.
There was a couple of days of rain in that.
Bro, not only is he worried about it, not only does he not feel uneasy about it, The man says he hates it. That's deep, bro. That's deep.
Cage, that was a crazy show.
If you're fighting at an elite world championship level, you should be fighting in a controlled environment. The White House thing is odd. I don't like it. I don't like the idea of fighting outside at all.
Well, there's problems with it.
And then
done it too many times.
June, and it's DC, and we looked it up. The last time, like last year, same day, it was 100 degrees.
Yeah. Oh,
That's
yeah.
hot as fuck.
And then you add the lights.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the lights.
You add the lights.
Yeah,
That attracts bugs.
How about dehydration?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we talk about, dehydration and things like that, fighting in elevated places. Like when the UFC has UFC Mexico cards, that's always a thing. Dehydration gets worse over there. This is probably going to be worse than that. This is the middle of the summer. It's something that's going to be outside. You're going to be dealing with bugs guaranteed. With the whole bugs thing, I think it's unavoidable at this point, especially if the card is going to be transitioning into the nighttime or evening time or whatever. Doesn't even matter what time of the day. Those bugs are going to be out because a lot of lights have to be set up. I don't know how they're going to avoid that. I really don't get it. Are they going to do some type of extra fumigation? How is that going to affect the fighters? And then fighting outside under the sun during summer, there's no way that doesn't affect the fighter. But hey, since Justin Gaethje is used to the American summer, maybe this would help him pull off an upset against Ilia Topuria. Who knows?
Yeah. Yeah, the bugs are a big one.
Go back to...
I just don't think that you should compete in a world championship fight in a non-controlled environment.
Yeah.
I think it should be
Makes
inside
sense.
a
True.
conditioned arena. It should be a controlled environment, just like you don't ask someone to do any of that. You wouldn't ask them to play a world championship basketball game outside in the sun.
No.
That'd be crazy.
But it's going to be a pain in the butt.
A fucking roof.
Yeah.
Build a roof. Like, you've got all the money in the world, right? You're doing this. You want to do this for
I don't
fucking
know. It's not
America?
my money.
It's 4,000 seats. You build a 4,000 seat arena. Yeah. How big is it? Get a fucking barn dominium.
They want that White House in the background.
Put it in the background on TV. Who gives a fuck? It's just like when world-class fighters are competing, I don't think they should have to compete outside.
Look at they're already putting it in.
Imagine if someone loses a fight because it's too hot out.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Imagine if that becomes a factor. Imagine the dehydrated fighters.
So Rogan has given the event a lot of bad press. He's going to be miserable there, which should make it hilarious, if he keeps complaining about it while he's there, or maybe he'll call him sick. Also, the event has been getting really bad press from Sean Strickland as well. Aiden Ross told him he wishes he was on the White House card, and Sean's like, nah, I'm good. I don't want to go hang out with the Epstein class.
So I think I'd want to do the White House. Yeah, if there was some kind of inclusion for So if there was some kind of inclusion for fans, it'd be more. But just to go hang out the fucking Epstein list, I'm good, dog. I'm good, dude. Right.
I mean, this is what I was talking about in my previous video about this. This whole UFC White House thing is for the elites. It's not for the fans. First of all, they're not doing it on an actual holiday. They're doing it on Trump's birthday. It's pretty much Donald Trump's birthday party. That's what this is. But it's being masked as a holiday, American Flag Day, or whatever the hell they want to label it at. That's just a facade. It's not for fans. It's not for the country. It's not for the United States. It's not for anybody. It's Donald Trump getting a special type of birthday party. At the same time, the Dana White and the UFC getting payments for all the glazing and campaign running, which they did for him. This is all it is. They're getting paid back for everything they did for Trump. When Trump went through all the issues with getting indicted, getting convicted, all that stuff, the first public appearance that he had was at the UFC, right? And then over and over again, they kept on washing him until he got elected again. And that's exactly what happened. Now they're getting paid back for all the work that they put in.
Sean Strickland.
One of the fighters you were just introducing, yeah.
He's a nightmare. A nightmare. Says horrible things about lots of different people and, freedom of speech.
So Dana's getting a lot of shit for this event, even from his own fighters and commentators. People also think the card isn't good enough either, like they expected better matchups. Also, another fighter, Colby Covington, he went off about how he wasn't put on the card, which is absolutely hilarious because this guy's whole shtick is dick riding Donald Trump. He's always wearing MAGA merch everywhere. He's always talking about Trump and sucking up to him, and he just made MAGA his whole personality. He did all that just to be left off the White House card. It's amazing.
I mean, facts. This man spent his entire career putting on this bullshit personality of being the MAGA fighter. The MAGA fighter, Donald Trump's favorite fighter, even though Donald Trump never mentioned him as his favorite fighter. In fact, I believe Donald Trump, who is actually a UFC fan, legit UFC fan, he actually prefers Masvidal to Colby Covington. Colby Covington just built this whole persona, and where did that get him? He still was a boring fighter for the most part, has a downfall in his career, and now he's no longer in the UFC. He's going to be fighting in RAF. Now he's being more real with his personality. He's not being as outlandish anymore. You would never see him wearing a MAGA hat. He was so pissed that he was left off the card. But it's so crazy that Colby actually thought he was going to be at the UFC White House card. Did he really think he was going to be on the card after getting destroyed by Joaquin Buckley? Is that really what he thought he was going to do? Colby hasn't been dominant in years, hasn't been relevant in years. He's so inactive. And the man thought because of all the Trump and MAGA glazing, he thought he would be on the card. And what makes things worse is the fact that the card was already set, but Donald Trump called Dana White to request Derek Lewis. So he had the power to request someone on the card, but he definitely wasn't messing with Colby. But it makes sense. Colby is so irrelevant.
So he was crashing out over that. He's still calling Donald Trump his hero, though. But this is really embarrassing for him to get ignored like this after making MAGA his whole persona.
Out of all the people that I thought I was definitely going to see on the White House lawn, it was going to be a Colby Covington fight. I was like, how did you not have a Colby Covington fight at the White House?
Man, I don't know.
He's like super supportive of Trump, wears Trump hats everywhere.
Right. And he's not a fighter.
They didn't get him hooked up? They didn't hook him up?
I don't know.
How did that not happen?
I'd fight anybody on God's green earth on the White House card just to get that opportunity to fight in front of my, my hero.
This is the face and the voice of desperation right here. Ladies and gentlemen, don't be like this.
Donald Trump, and all the great politicians that I'm friends with up in D.C., they're upsetting their hardcore fan base. Whatever, we're just going to throw shit at the wall and we're going to tell everybody it's flaming yawn. It's completely the opposite of what they promised the fans. They said, hey, we're going to give you guys the biggest and best event the UFC's ever had. We're going to put 6 or 7 title fights on this card. Where's the 6 or 7 title fights?
I mean, that part is true. The UFC White House card is a good card for a regular pay-per-view, fight night, whatever. Very good card. But for what we were promised, it was massively oversold. We were told it was going to be all title fights. That's that was it, right? And everybody was getting their hands will get like a super type of title fight. Of course, Islam Makhachev versus Ilia Topuria. It's so obvious that they settled with this card. Ilia Topuria versus Justin Gaethje. Alex Pereira versus Cyril Gane, which is a fantastic fight. Sean O'Malley versus Ayman Zahabi. Like, what? And you got Bo Nickel versus Kyle Dawkins. Let's see how this UFC White House plays out. I hope it goes well. Absolutely, I'm going to be watching it. I'm going to be watching everything. I'll probably stream it. I'm always going to be watching the fights. But man, I don't know about advising people to go to that event, but let me know what you think in the comments. You think this is a legit fight card? You think Dana White is in over his head? How do you think this whole thing is going to play out? Let me know what you think in the comments, please. Oh yeah, and I'm going to link this video in the description if you want to watch the rest of the video. I stopped here because I don't want to watch the entire thing on my video. But it's a pretty good video. I'll put the link in the description. Subscribe to Too Lazy to Try and subscribe to me, of course. Please go ahead and like this video if you like the video. I'll see you in the next one.